Dr. Dominic Oduro. We are glad to have you, sir.
Thank you. And thanks for coming all the way to Ghana.
Thank you very much, sir. So we are going to run a quick documentary about the impact and the mission of GATAC.
Great.
So shortly before we proceed with GATAC, tell us briefly about yourself, sir.
My name is Dominic. I'm a young, dynamic entrepreneur who is dedicated in serving the youth of Ghana, especially in the area of innovation and also idea development or concept development. I also pride myself in helping with the health sector in this country. I'm the first person to launch the health directory for Ghana, where all information regarding health in this country was put on one platform, and that's the book I had, which also motivated me to go ahead to introduce what I call maternal health care through jazz music. So these are areas. I mean, this is something about Dominic, helping and also getting things done for the youth of this country, and also, putting it on a global scale.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you describe the mission and primary objectives of the Global African Trade and Advisory Chamber?
Yes. So GATAC, Global Africa Trade Advisory Chamber, is a body that stands in between Africa and the rest of the world, where no country is mentioned, but primarily want Ghanaians and the rest of African countries to be able to trade, to be able to do business without any other issues, be it the government sector, be it the private sector, or be it, private partnership. This is what we stand for, to be the bridge in between these two, and then make sure the facilitation is done to serve mutual interest.
Thank you very much, sir. What are some of the key challenges currently facing African trade and commerce, and how is your organization addressing them?
Well, it's rather unfortunate we have the head office of Africa Continental Free Trade in Ghana, that's called AFTA, and we're expecting 54 countries to be able to work together. But I always say, and this is one of the major challenges, if visa acquisition among the 54 countries is a problem, then how can we foster the trade aspect of it? If I'm going to Morocco, if I'm going to Algeria, how do we get visas? If you want to foster trade links among the 54 African countries, the first thing you have to embark on is to do away with our visas, and then you can be able to trade and do it properly. But where even a common visa between the countries are a problem, then it makes trade a bit difficult. So that's one of our major challenges, and we also we've been part of the advocacy for that. Recently, South Africa did for Ghana, and I was part of it. I have seen the Kenya one also, develop. We want to see more, apart from ECOWAS, there are 54 African countries. Can we easily travel there? It makes trade easier. If you cannot even give visas to people among yourself, then how do we reach out to the world? So that is one of the major challenges that we're trying to.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Could you highlight a recent successful initiative or project that the Chamber has undertaken to promote trade in Africa?
Yes. Like I told you from the onset or from the beginning, the youth are important to me. So what the Chamber has done and with what we keep doing is to offer scholarships to students or deserving students, brilliant but needy, to go to India. We are getting some other countries like Canada and Cyprus in place, and that's what we've done. We gave some scholarships to people to go to India. We also help some of the youth in Ghana now when they have ideas, concepts that can yield some kind of a positive result. We have been able to also invested something there to promote that. We've also introduced what we call the Investors Forum. The Investors Forum basically help people in Ghana or other African countries who have contracts contracts and they need funding. That is what we have also introduced, and it's doing well, and that's the best we can do, and we'll keep developing. We'll come up with more.
Also an awesome impact. So let's look at the collaborations. How does the chamber collaborate with governments, businesses, and other stakeholders to foster economic growth and development in Africa?
It is important that everybody notes the backbone of most of every country, especially in Africa and maybe the rest of the world, is private sector. Without the private sector, government may not be able to function properly. Without the government, private sector may also not be able to function properly. So what we stand for, and I told you before, is to be able to be a bridge between the private sector and government. Because if the government will succeed, they need to ride on the private sector. That is why we have dialogue between the two sectors, building partnerships. There are times it's not a matter of money, it's a matter of who can do the job. If I am in Africa, I'm in Ghana, and I think when I come to Nigeria, and then Nigerian counterparts can be able to give me what it takes, I can get the same thing from Kenya, in South Africa. I do not need them to give money. They need to give us that equipment that they need to solve that problem. Then afterwards, you can talk about, the funding aspect. So the chamber always stands as a gap between the government and the people. And for that matter, if it's GATAC, then it's the people of Africa, the government of Africa, and the rest of the world.
Thank you very much. So let's look at trade globally. So how do you see the future of trade relations between Africa and other global regions evolving over the next decade?
So now Africa is the ish. I mean, Africa is that is what we have. We are now on top of the map. Everybody wants to come to Africa, but we have to be vigilant as Africans. We cannot give everything out. We need to keep something behind, because that keeps you moving. And we should be able to trade among ourselves and get to the top. Because if the foundation between us is solid, we may not need the West too much. And we should be able to also encourage better trade between ourselves as Africans, and then also the parts of the world. Because why do we always have people coming in to Ghana to invest? There's something. Why do we have people coming to Africa to invest? It means that there's something there that they need. The same way there's something in the West or at the European side that Africans will also need. So therefore, there's the need for collaboration that will be able to make us strong and resilient for the past, for the next 10 years. Because nobody can build your country for you better than yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And this is why we are also looking at building projects for Africans by Africans.
That's
for
it.
This sustainability and the durability. So thank you very much for that. And so lastly, and how does the chamber support small and medium-sized enterprises, that's SMEs, in Africa, particularly in terms of accessing international markets and the funding?
That's a very good question. So because of that, we have launched what we call the GATAC Foundation Hub. Very soon, we are going to have a youth empowerment forum that allows us, not just in Ghana, the youth in Africa, what can they do? Buy the concept that they have and then give it to an investor who would then make this dream a realistic one. And we're not just going to buy the concept and give it to the investor just to, fund, but the one who brought the concept, you become the managing director of that business. And that is you taking charge and also employing your fellow youth. So this is what we have. And then for the other side, we launch what we call the knowledge bank. Basically, that is it. Bring your knowledge and bank with us. When you bank with the chamber also goes ahead looking for investors who can put their money in it. And once they put their money in, they make life also easy for everyone. But there again, it creates also youth employment.
Thank you very much. That's really sensational. So, what role does the chamber play in promoting sustainability and inclusive economic growth across the African continent? And then, what advice do you have to promote more trade across Africa and globally?
So basically, chambers serve, and for our case, we serve as an advocate. We have to advocate one about investment opportunities that can help to sustain us. We have to also be positive minded. I like the positive energy. Look, every continent or every nation, they have their own negative side. But when we dwell on the positive side of things, we can be able to grow. So as a chamber, we drum home those positive aspects of every country, and also the benefit that the rest of the world can benefit when they invest into a certain country. So we believe in positivity, and then dealing with the right kind of people. You know, the mindset is always important. I always say, and I'm saying it today, that the important commodity in the world is not gold, it's integrity and loyalty. And therefore, if we have that, we're able to penetrate into every market that we find ourselves. And therefore, there's always the need for collaboration and also partnership.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And everyone there that is watching would like to know more about GATAC. And tell us briefly, in a nutshell, although you have said more about GATAC, in a nutshell, brief about GATAC and how can someone get connected and get on board?
So GATAC, basically, we work in these thematic areas, that is trade, education, and then also business focus. We also believe in business focus. Why am I talking about business focus? People have different business, but there's none. Sometimes they end up doing nothing because they have different eyes looking at one bottle. Therefore, we encourage people, if it's just education or if it's just agribusiness, let us go into that and then do one and make it work. Once that particular one works, you can extend it to the others. So we GATA believe in supporting also people in getting investors and getting funding for areas like I mentioned. We also believe in helping women in agribusiness. We also believe in youth empowerment. We also believe in education. And then we believe in making one succeed as SMEs.
Thank you very much. How do we get connected on your website, and how can someone get on board?
Yes, so basically we are on the internet. You can check our website www.gatac.net, and you can just, even sometimes just to be sure, you can go to news of social media, YouTube, or anywhere. Just type GATAC. Our details are there, and then we can also connect. And when you become a member, we'll treat you like an angel. We'll take care of you. We don't just promise, but we deliver. Others promise, but they cannot. We'll tell you the realities. If you want to be part, you go ahead. If you cannot, you're still welcome.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I still remain a light from Coin News Extra. Bye for now.